Alright, so I'm going to be working on the ute today. Reason being is that the Skyline, still waiting for parts for it, so can't really do much with that at the moment. So with the ute, obviously it's a tow vehicle, but what I'm really looking to do is, as well as towing the Skyline, which is the main thing, I also want to do a little bit of just light full driving. So what I've got today is some recovery gear. So essentially the front two recovery points, and those have the spacers as well. And then I know you can just use the pin that holds on the tow bar, like the bracket for the tow bar, that pin. But what I've gone and done is just gotten an extended bit. It actually came as a kit with the front recovery points, and it was like $100, so I thought might as well. And the pin just goes through there, and then you put your shackle on the end of here. And then I have three shackles. These shackles came separately. I bought that with a snatch strap kit, and obviously the hardware for it. And basically today I'm just going to install it and see how we go. So the two front recovery points and the spacers and the extended bit to put the shackle at the back of the car, I got all that from Air on Board. I think it was about $100. And then the shackles and the snatch strap I just got it from Full Drive Supercenter. They were just pretty cheap and close, so thought why not. So the front recovery points are rated to 3.25 ton each, and then the shackles are rated to 4.7 ton each. So with the ute, obviously it's a tow car. That's its main reason I bought it, but also I want to do some light full driving. So I'm all new to this. I've never had a full drive before, so I really want to experience it. So I thought the best first thing to do is get the recovery gear, because if I get stuck, I mean, that's probably the best way to get me out. Hopefully you can see that in the camera, but essentially what you have to do is, that's the spacer, you just put it up like that, and then obviously your recovery point sits on top of your spacer, and that just goes straight on like that. So it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so I've tightened that up all the way. All I need to do now is to torque it to 90 Newton meters and get onto the other side. So hopefully, as you can see, the fronts are all done. 1, 2. Now it's time to move on to the rear. And that's with both the shackles on as well. So for the rear, I literally can't stand this rear bar. I just hate it. I hate chrome. It's just too flashy for me. Every time I walk out of my house to go drive the car, I see this bloody thing. So I just want to get rid of it. So not only are we going to remove the tow ball and just put the shackle end in, and then obviously when I'm towing, put the tow bar back, it's interchangeable. We're going to get rid of this bar. So in replace of the bar, I'm going to put this PSR Infill panel. Also a bit just over $100, I think. I know you can just do like checkered plating and stuff like that. That's probably a bit cheaper, but honestly I wasn't really a big fan of the checkered plating, and I saw this. It really wasn't that expensive. It looks really nice. It's powder coated as well, so I thought might as well put that on, and yeah, we'll see how it looks. So just for reference, this is the before photo, and then I'll get the after photo when we finish the installation. So I'm also just going to disconnect the number plate lights. So there's just 2 screws here, and then there's an actual just connector here. You just have to disconnect, so one on this side, one on the other side as well. So from what I can see, to get the bumper off, there's just those 2 bolts up there, and then I just put a socket on one end with my impact, and then so it's a 19mm, and then on the other side I just put a spanner that was 19mm as well, and it seemed to get it off pretty good. Just a helpful tip if you're doing this yourself, I ended up putting just some crates and just a block of wood just to hold up the bumper, because when you're doing it yourself, obviously you can't have your hand on the spanner, have your hand on the impact, and let the bumper fall and hold it up kind of thing. So I just did that, so made sure it didn't fall on me. So I got the bumper off. It's pretty straightforward. 2 bolts on one side, 2 bolts on the other side. Disconnect the number plate lights, And also just with mine, or if anybody that has a reversing camera, my one was done together a little bit roughly, a bit of a twist and tape job, so I'm going to make sure I solder that afterwards. But yeah, make sure you just disconnect any rear facing camera wiring, because that was a massive problem for me. As you can see, I've got wires bloody everywhere, but that's all good. I'll fix that up later. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll probably just fit the infill panel up, and after that I'm going to get on to doing the rear hitch. So I just went to test fit the PSR infill panel, and honestly the tow bar was like, just the car's, you got to remember the car's 17 years old. Yeah, it's a 2003 model, so everything's pretty old and weathered and whatnot, and this bar was just disgusting. So all I've gone and done is gotten some paint and just put a lick of paint on it. I've only done one coat at the moment. I'll probably do one more coat, and it's already like 30 times better, because the black of the PSR infill panel was a really nice color, and then it came down to the tow bar and it just looked like shit. So I've just painted the front of the tow bar. I mean, I'm not really too fussed about it. It's a four-wheel drive, so who cares? But it actually is coming out pretty decent. So I'll put the second coat on, and then I'll start putting the infill panel on, and we'll see how it looks. Pizza, Skyline, Ute, living the dream. Tell you what, on a Sunday, it's so good. So the second coat has sat on there for about 5-10 minutes now, and honestly, it's looking pretty good. So far, I'm really happy with that. Way better than what I thought it would be. So now that's done, what I'm going to do is just start putting the bar on. So I definitely didn't expect this to happen, which is weird, but you can see here, this hole lines up and this hole lines up, but this one is actually slightly off and I can't get the screw in. And then you come over to this side and the bottom bolt fits, but that's like completely off. I'll try and get some light on it. Like the hole's all the way in the corner, and same with this one as well. So yeah, that's shit. Not gonna lie, I can't have the shits at the moment, because you buy something, you think it should fit, and it doesn't fit. Nothing simple, obviously. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna drill out the hole. I'm just gonna drill it a little bit further to the right, and the same thing on this one. The bottom one's a lot worse than the top, and this one seems to fit, so that's okay. And then on this side, it's the top hole fits, the bottom hole fits, but the middle one doesn't, so I'll drill that one out as well, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, so literally after ages of drilling and checking, I finally got it all bolted up. All I had to do was literally drill out those two, these two, this one, and a little bit of one of the bottom ones. I can't remember which one it was, but now it fits and it sits level, which is awesome. So all I have to do is put in the number plate lights, put in my actual number plate, and I might try and attach my reversing camera somewhere, and we'll see how it all goes. Alright, so I just put in the light, the bolts for the lights, and now I'm just going to put number plate on. I've also connected the lights in, and I'm just going to zip tie them up on top, just to get them out of the way, make it look a bit cleaner. Alright, so this is the after shot. So I've got the shackle in on the shackle end instead of the tow bar. Put the lights back on, number plate. It just looks so good. So much better than before. So yeah, that's how to do it. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.